Now we are going to compare part to part versus part to whole ratios. So in a setup here, we're going to imagine we are going to be combining 2 gallons of Hawaiian Punch with 1 gallon of Sprite to create sort of a carbonated punch that you might want to serve at like a party. A part to part ratio means that we are going to be comparing the ingredients to each other. So this means I am going to be comparing 2 gallons of the Hawaiian Punch to the 1 gallon of the Sprite to give us a 2-to-1 ratio when I compare those 2 ingredients to each other. Part to whole, however, means that we are going to be comparing one of the 2 ingredients that we have to the entire end product. So if I want to compare my Hawaiian Punch to the end result, the carbonated punch that they would get, well, I would be putting in the 2 gallons of the Hawaiian Punch. But now I need to think about how many gallons of the carbonated punch would they have. Well, they would be putting the 2 gallons of the Hawaiian Punch into their container, and then they would also be adding 1 gallon of the Sprite to give us a total of 3 gallons of the amount of drink that they would have of the carbonated punch. To give us now a 2-to-3 ratio. The next example here we have that at UW-Whitewater, 9,000 students are Wisconsin residents, and 1,800 are from out of state. And first, we are now asked, what is the ratio of out of state to in-state students? And I want to then write this in its simplest form. So to get it in its simplest form, usually that means we're going to want to write it as the fraction version because that's going to be the easiest way to be able to simplify. Most scientific calculators will be able to simplify it for you. So my number of out-of-state students that we have is 1,800. And then we also have 9,000 in-state students, so I'm going to divide this by 9,000. So now, if you want practice with simplifying a ratio without a calculator here, well, we have 2 zeros on the numerator and 3 zeros on the denominator, so that means I can cross off the amount they share, which is 2. So that's going to give us 18 over 90. And now we can work to simplify this. Both 18 and 90 are divisible by 9. So this means we are going to have 2 over 10, which now both of those are divisible by 2 to give us 1 over 5. So now this means that there is 1 out-of-state student to every 5 in-state students. And this is what we would consider part to part because I'm comparing one type of student to another type of student. The next one, we are asked, what is the ratio of out-of-state students to the total number of students? So now we are going to have, well, we still have the 1,800 out-of-state students, but now we need to divide that by our total number of students. Well, we can figure out our total number of students by taking the out-of-state, the 1,800, and adding that to the in-state students, the 9,000. So this gives us 1,800 over 10,800, which then that is going to simplify to give us 1 over 6. So now this means that there is one out-of-state student to every 6 students in total. Essentially meaning that if you had selected 6 students at random, probably one of them is going to be from out of state. And this is now considered part to whole because we're comparing one specific type of student to the entire total amount of students that we have at the university.